Hello, Rick Sneed here. We've shared tips on how to redefine field content using Thesauri and tips on grouping terms found on lists. For this tip, I'll be discussing grouping terms on lists with a thesaurus and ways to build thesaurus from the groups. Why is this important, you ask? Well, we always return to the idea of analysis on your terms. Thesaurus allow you to categorize lists, for example, a list of words and phrases from the titles and abstracts, with groups you've identified and labeled with your alias. As thesaurus are saved, the link between the terms and the alias is maintained, thus making thesaurus powerful tools that are easily applied analysis to analysis. For example, a scientific article, patents, they publish weekly. Applying a thesaurus to this new data makes it possible to quickly discover trends and identify key entities. For this tip, we're going to be working with a feature found in the Groups section of the Refine tab called Group with Thesaurus. As this function applies only to lists, the button is active only when the list is open. Otherwise, it appears grayed out. With VantagePoint, groups of items on lists and thesauri can be interrelated. The association between groups of terms on a list and a group's label or alias can be recorded in a thesauri. With the Refine tab open and selecting the button for Group with Thesaurus and then the option the Thesaurus using groups, it is possible to save thesauri that holds the association between the group alias and related terms. Building thesauri in this manner helps make future grouping of lists faster and consistent, analysis to analysis. To group a future list with your thesaurus, one selects Group with Thesaurus and the option Group using Thesaurus. With every round of grouping lists, it's common for additional terms to be added to groups. These updated groupings can be added to a new thesaurus and merged with the old to enhance the thesaurus coverage. And it's worth adding that you can have many groups categorizing a list, and all can be retained within the thesaurus. Here we have the list of thesauri VantagePoint offers. We introduced this table in tip 1, and again, sorry for the small font. Pause a minute and just take a closer look. We talked about using regular thesauri to redefine or further define values in a field. For example, CPC codes replaced with definitions. For this tip, we will demonstrate how thesauri can be used to assign items in a list into groups. For example, group a list of assignee names by organization types called corporate, university, government. Or group a list of patent countries by geographic region. Now let's take a look. So here we are, we're starting with the sample data that comes with VantagePoint. And we're going to filter to the country data within this list here, within the summary sheet. So if I just put in country, and we're really going to use a country field that's already defined. The region thesaurus that we'll be applying will actually only work with already defined countries and not two-letter country codes. Select it, open up the list, and we now have the Group with Thesaurus area active. Select that, and we're going to group using a thesaurus. Select our option, and we're in step 1, so we're going to use the list that's open. There could have been a list of groups as well in here if there were groups associated, so that's why it gives you choices. And going on to the next step, we're going to browse through our thesauruses. This is our list of standard thesauruses that come with VantagePoint. We're going to go and open the region thesaurus. You might want to look at the definition and then group for each alias. So for Asia, there'll be a group for North America, South America, and so on. So finish. Now we have our groups, and we have them assigned, but do we see that all of the entries in the data actually have been assigned to a group? I notice right here WIPO isn't. And how do we check to see if the list, instead of looking down a long list, how can we check for that? Well, we combine all the groups and then sort on that. So let's edit groups. We're going to select all. We're going to combine and click OK. And then open up the list and see what we have here. If I sort on everything that's combined, you'll see that there is one left out. So, this is just one way of identifying missing entries into groups. So I'm going to right click and then go over to add selection to group, and we'll just call it WIPO. And once that's done, I can then enhance my region thesaurus by merging what I've done here. And so first of all, I want to get rid of this particular group that I made. So we'll go into edit groups and we'll just select it and go and delete it. And then once that's established, we'll go over to group with thesaurus. Thesaurus using groups now. So we're going to build a thesaurus. We're going to use all of our groups. Hold down the Shift key and then click OK. I'm going to select our region, click Save, and now we're going to merge. For this second example, I'm going to create a thesaurus off of groups that I've built on my abstract NLP phrases. You'll notice here the abstract NLP phrases, and I also applied the refine NLP just to clean it up a little bit. I have 10 groups, and we built these groups in a previous session or a previous tip on how to build groups, how to search lists and build groups. So let's open it up, and you'll notice, here's the groups. Color and pigmentation is associated with these phrases within the abstract, polymerize, and so on and so forth. So our thesaurus will associate the aliases that are in these groups with the terms that are listed here from the abstract. So to do this, we're going to go over to group with thesaurus, but we're going to create a thesaurus using groups. And we're going to use all of these. So just holding down my Shift key, click OK. And I have a My Thesaurus folder that I have within the System Thesaurus folder. But it's up to you how you want to organize your thesauruses. Some people put them project basis. So it's just a choice. So open up, and we already have a dental composition thesaurus that I did earlier. But let's make a new one. Just call it something like, I don't know, dental thesaurus, and click Save. And we're going to keep everything so that, we might have items that are together. Like you'll notice here, photo initiator is also associated with polymerization. So let's just keep everything and just go with it. So if I just use this answer for everything and keep all, it'll allow me to keep the double or triple or whatever associations that are with these aliases and these terms. Now imagine that this new thesaurus is sitting out there. You come into a new set of records, a new set of terms, and you would like to group them. So just kind of making this into an example, if I go back over to the summary sheet and I'll just right click, I will copy the field, but I won't bring the groups over. And say this is our new analysis and you want to apply that thesaurus, and you can see where we're headed here. Group with thesaurus, group using thesaurus. Basically browse over to the thesaurus, select it, and open it up and go with the defaults and finish. And suddenly we have our information organized, and we can start analyzing based on our group terminology. As you might remember, create fields from group names. If I select all my group names, and this is just basically taking the field and oops, need to select them all, so select all. And we now can run with this and all sorts of analysis, going into our report area and just looking at them count-wise based on, a bar chart, for example. Or we might want to, if I just go back once to it, and look at them based on a cluster map. Now this looks like really extreme, but if I open this up, you'll see that I'm going to take it to the maximum where we have the one node, which is polymerize, down to the next level. So you see how adhesive and polymerize work together. And if we wanted to see the overlap of a third term, like, for example, water soluble, we can see where they come together, and we can look at those records in our, our detail windows and so forth. So, not to get too far afield here, but really these groups are critical to identifying tags that you then pull into your analysis to really do the analysis based on your terminology. So I hope this helps. Thanks a lot. We hope you found this tip helpful. Grouping lists with Thesaurus and using grouped lists to build Thesaurus is a feature that truly underscores our mission of analyzing data on your terms. Now, please contact us at this email with further questions. Goodbye.